afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Across the Fence. I'm Jolie Whitney. November is National Family Caregiver Month, and while family caregivers should be honored every day, this is a time to recognize and honor these everyday heroes. Joining me to talk about their experience as family caregivers are Diane Dyer and her daughter Liz. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, we're happy to have you. And left out of the picture here is your husband, Bob. Can you tell me a little about him?
Sure. He grew up in Massachusetts. There were 4 brothers. He grew up across the street from a golf course, so he's an avid golfer. He was a hockey player. We met in college. He was a 30-year teacher in Central Vermont. He taught business. He started out teaching typing with the typewriter, and it moved forward into computer applications. Oh, where am I? What else do you know about you guys?
Let's see. He is a really playful, funny guy. Very friendly. Meets, like whoever he meets on the street, he always wants to tell them something or ask them something. Full of compliments, sees a dog, he tells them how great their dog is. What else? He's an active guy. He really likes
golf, from the sounds of it.
Yes, and hockey, paddling, hiking.
Sure. And what do you guys like doing with him?
We like to kayak. Liz takes him skating. I'm not into skates anymore. My son takes him golfing. We walk the dog every day, twice a day. So we're lucky enough to live close to the lake and the bike path. So you see us there every day. We know we've met lots of people, lots of dogs.
Lots of dogs. And what's Bob's condition?
He has Alzheimer's. He's probably had it 6 or 7 years. It kind of creeps up on you. You don't know if you're just being forgetful or if there's something wrong. It takes a while to diagnose. It takes a while to get into a neurologist's office. There's huge waiting lists.
Sure.
So.
And when did you notice a change?
Probably around 2017 or 2018. Some of the key things was he was a business teacher. He taught accounting. He couldn't balance a checkbook if his life depended on it. He couldn't use a cell phone anymore. He couldn't figure out how to use a credit card at the gas pump.
And Liz, did you notice the same things?
Not as much, because they were living further away, so it was less kind of like the little everyday things. And he's such a great social guy, so like in person, he doesn't, none of that stuff is really apparent, but it was it was definitely the math, the numbers, just not.
Playing cribbage. He used to love to play cribbage, and he couldn't do that anymore. So.
And did you ever talk before he got sick about what one of you would do if somebody needed a caregiver?
Not really, because you don't expect to have to be in that role as a caregiver. You just think you're going to retire and things are going to go great.
Sure.
So
that's what you plan for.
That's what you plan for.
That's what all that money you put away is for.
Yeah.
So, and it became clear that maybe you needed an extra help. When did you include Liz?
I think the family and the kids knew things were going on. We were living an hour and a half away from them. So I really didn't get a lot of support from them other than telling me what they thought I should do. He needs to see a doctor. He needs to see a neurologist. And like I said earlier, the appointments just weren't forthcoming. So it took a while to get in there, and then COVID hit, and so that put everything on hold. Doctors weren't seeing new patients, so it really took some time to get to where we are now.
Sure. And for a family in your shoes, what's your advice?
Be persistent. Make those phone calls. If you don't have an appointment, call and just check and see if there's a cancellation, if they can fit you in, or just call and say, yeah, I'm still here.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, we've done that with adult day programs. When we moved here, my daughter in Colorado was visiting, and she made some phone calls around. And after COVID, the only adult day program had a waiting list of 180 people.
Wow.
And I found the same thing true last spring when I called, but she had called and put him on the list, so he was number 90 at that point.
But it had been 2 years.
It had been 2.5
And she wasn't sure she'd put him on the list.
She wasn't sure what list she put him on, but...
And at that point, you didn't need or weren't interested in that, because he didn't need it 2 years before.
2 years before he did not need it. But so get on your list. Visit the memory care facilities. See what they offer. See what you can afford. Is very, I think, and you need to do it early so you can do it together, and not have to make those decisions on your own later.
Yeah, that's good advice.
You need to get all your legal things in place, your wills, your directives, all need to be done. A power of attorney, that all needs to be done while the person you're caring for can still function and understand what's going on. At least that's what I felt, because I know he had input.
Now let's talk a little bit about the day-to-day. So what's it like being a caregiver 24/7?
Very challenging, exhausting. He needs help, showering and shaving, dressing. He can do no food prep anymore, so the 3 meals a day are all on my shoulders. He just can't go out in the yard alone. I need to be with him because he wanders now. So I have to have eyes on him at all times, or he gets into trouble. A little bit of mischief, nothing horrible, but just some mischief. All the socks came out of his drawer yesterday, and they got all pulled apart. I have no idea why, and they're now scattered all over the house.
Yeah. Or the problem of the ice cream ends up in the fridge instead of the freezer. So
Yeah, what role do you play?
Yeah, little things. Well, that doesn't happen anymore because I bungee corded the refrigerator shut, so he can't get in there.
No more melted ice cream.
No more melted ice cream, or just food coming out and spoiling, because I don't know where it ends up.
Right.
And Liz, what's your role as a caregiver?
I take my dad once a week. We go skating or do some other outside activity, and I'm my mom's backup. If she has an appointment or whatever, I'm on call, or if she has to do something that she needs to do and he can't go with her, then she can drop him off at my house. And
Sure.
Yeah.
We're
And you help
close.
de-escalate problems sometimes when
Yeah.
when we've just gone at each other long enough that
Yeah, that's true.
he just needs a different venue.
Yeah.
Sometimes he tells me he feels like he's being held hostage.
And
He is.
it's true. He can't go out on his own, and he can't do any of the things he wants to do. So.
Sure. And other than the two of you, what community resources have you worked with?
There's a long list. Liz and Bob participate in the Memory Cafe, which is a fairly new startup since COVID, and that's once a month at the New North End Library. Bob and I do a lot through AgeWell. We take advantage of a singing group for people with dementia, and that's Fridays in Winooski. We take advantage of AgeWell's restaurant ticket program, which is a $5 meal at select restaurants, and it's a select AgeWell menu. AgeWell offers us a volunteer 3 hours a week. He comes and he takes Bob and the dog for a walk and comes back they come back to the house. He used to read a book to him, but Bob could no longer retain it from week to week. So they're listening to podcasts, short podcasts now.
And you were in a rural area before moving back to the Burlington area. Have you seen kind of a gap in coverage where you were living before?
I had no support where I was living before, and it was new into the whole realm. We were a part of an Alzheimer's support group, which is through the Alzheimer's Association. I wanted to get back to AgeWell. Of course. One more thing. Bob wandered off this spring. AgeWell helped with finding a tracker that would work for us in the Burlington area. So they also offer technical assistance. So if you're in the, I feel like I'm plugging AgeWell. If you're in, I think it's Chittenden, Addison, and maybe Grand Isle counties, they are a great resource. The Alzheimer's Association is a great resource. They have a 24-hour-a-day hotline, and they also offer support groups. And our local senior center, we are there several times a week. We do a yoga class, a bone builders class, and we have lunch there twice a week. And so it's really, the senior center has really given us a sense of community, because when we moved to Burlington, I knew my daughter and her family. We didn't know anyone else. We left, all our friends in Central Vermont, which we still see, but not on a daily, not on a daily basis.
Sure. And we're almost out of time now, but I just want to ask before we go, self-care is really important as a caregiver. So what do both of you do to kind of take care of yourself a little bit? Why don't you start?
Oh boy. Right now I'm taking a class through AgeWell on being a caregiver, to help care for yourself. It's really been tough. I feel like some of the time I spend at the senior center doing yoga is for me, even though Bob is with me.
Sure.
But it's been really tough.
And how about for you, Liz?
I don't know. We go for lots of walks.
We do go for lots of walks.
Sure.
I think we have tea. She drops by when she has other caregivers, and we have our own chat.
Yeah, nice to have each other.
Relaxing.
And I do use a lot of the caregiver time to, do grocery shopping or go for appointments that I can schedule in when they are there. So.
All right. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but thank you both so much for joining us today.
Okay. All right. Thank you for having us.
Oh, we're happy to. And for more information on family caregiving, contact UVM's Larner College of Medicine Center on Aging at the website on your screen, or you can call 802-656-0292. And that takes care of our program for today. I want to thank the crew behind the scenes here at WCAX who make our program possible. I'm Jolie Whitney. This is Across the Fence. Have a good one.